mentioned before that you had addressed this today, but it was a question to do with how Wales seem to be so passionate, the players who maybe don't get the same chance as Leinster or Ulster players to express that through their clubs, that it all comes out when they represent their country. How do you make up for that? Is there anything, what do you work on to make sure that you match them in that area?
I'm not sure it's matched them. You know, we've got a lot of national pride and we've got a lot of club pride, and you know, this came up years ago about in one of the infamous meetings of play for your country as you play for your club, and that's not really an issue here. Lads come in here and it becomes one team. You know, you're expecting higher standards across the board, and we enjoy doing what we do. We enjoy being together, and that without any effort creates a drive to succeed together and to enjoy those times.
It's not so much a criticism of you guys, it's just remarkable what they do. They seem to go to this whole other level. I presume you see it for guys you faced in Europe in Pro 14, just a different beast almost.
Absolutely, yeah.
You went to put on a red jersey, and it's a strange, it's different from the Irish system, isn't it? Or would you not analyse a guy you see Pro 14? Would you analyse him differently when it comes to a test match?
I don't know. I wouldn't be too much into looking at how other teams get up for games. You know, you might look at what drives them, but we're kind of set on what their tactics are and how they want to try and stress our defence and such. But it's kind of all about us from this side of it.
You've seen plenty of Max Deegan up close. What's he like as a character, and how ready do you think he is for possibly getting off the bench?
Brilliant, and he's got an unbelievable party piece, so hopefully he gets a shot and we get to see that.
What is it?
I can't tell you that.
What's it after the match?
It's a dance.
Shakira
It's the height of it.
So he's a bit of a character, and you think he's ready to step into the test arena?
He wouldn't be put in if he wasn't ready. There's a lot of lads in those positions that are pushing each other around, looking for shots, and you know, they've all gotten each other to this place where they're vying for that goal. So you know, it's great to see him getting a shot. Unfortunately, with Caelan having to sit out with his knock, but I'm sure he'll be ready to go, and looking forward to that opportunity. It's something he's trained an awful long time for, with it being a dream of his to get to here. So it's great to see that become a reality for lads now.
What did you make of the scrum pens against you, and what have you done in that area? Very fair pens.
I was a bit annoyed at them. There's a lot of tactical to it and a bit of messing, but we had to simulate a messy scrum in training and jig a few things about and put each other under different sort of stresses. Then if both of our packs are scrummaging the way we like to scrummage, that will mean we have a steady scrum and we get the ball off the back. But that's not the perfect world, so we had to change it up a little bit, test each other with angles and messy on binds and stuff. But it was good. We had a few scrums down in training and then took learnings from it and learnings from the weekend, and coming to the end of the session we got some solid platforms and some dominant balls, so we're pretty happy with the fixes. But like that, you know, we can have a look forward at Wales and what they might want to do, but you could get something unpredictable on the day, or ref could deem something against you that was for you, or the other way around. So you kind of have to be armed for any of that.
Iain, what did you think of the pack performance generally? Didn't seem to get the ball going really. What was the issue there?
Yeah, we kind of knew what Scotland were going to bring there down in front of that line out, hammering in that side. We kind of knew they did us in the World Cup. Fortunately, a couple of them got pinged in the World Cup, but obviously working with different referees, you have different outcomes, and you just kind of have to try and manage that. Getting them all set, they're obviously a very good defensive side in the line out, and you can see that in their club teams as well. So again, it's just trying to manage what you do. First and foremost, win the ball, and then after that, trying to get set. We've had a few meetings about them. Last week's game at the start of the week there, and moving forward, what we're going to have to try and maybe alter slightly differently, and what we're going to have to do the same or more of coming into this weekend.
You know, there seems to be a lot of talk about
we understand it is a work in progress under the new coaching system. How hard is it to try and make all these changes in the midst of Test match rugby like the Six Nations?
Yeah, well, Church touched on there, Max being ready to do it. I think kind of part of being an international rugby player is being able to be pretty adaptable, having different things thrown at you midweek and being able to just cope with them, being able to not only use the time in the pitch to learn, but learning away from the pitch as well to make your time on the pitch as valuable to you as possible. So I think kind of a lot of different things are changing. There's different sort of systems in place, if you like, but most of the guys, or I'd say all the guys, are adapting pretty well. Training's been pretty smooth, and guys are excited to be out there, excited to be doing something maybe slightly different, but similarly doing a lot of stuff for the reason why they were picked for this international squad as well.
Just, I know as a professional athlete you're always looking for a little extra edge and something to motivate you more. Last year's Six Nations against Wales, like, surely that's the ultimate motivation going into this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't look back too much on that. I'd like to go in pretty clean slate in my mind, and the motivation for me here is to succeed with this team. I'm not looking for vengeance or revenge or anything like that. I want success with the lads around me. That means going to the well, to the dark place to do what you have to do. That means doing the harder thing than the easier thing. You know, that's probably what will become more enjoyable now. If we come out of the weekend with a win, knowing that I've done that and that I've put myself to that place, and it was myself pushing myself on to do it, not thinking if I don't do it, this will happen again.
That was your first review under Andy Farrell. Did it differ that much from what Joe used to do, or was there too much made out of that in the first place?
It's been a different kind of review process. We broke it up a little bit more into different areas and looked over it, but you know, lots been put onto our mini groups to look after the smaller details of scrum and line out and breakdown and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a different setup.
And are you comfortable now to go to the management and amongst yourselves, among that leadership group, and say we feel we can go in a different direction here, or we can improve here?
Not in that group.
Sorry.
Didn't make the cut. No, it's really open. It's you walk over to a coach, say sit down with me for a few minutes and go through this with me, help me get some clarity. And it's the same with players. Players are grabbing each other, sitting at a computer, going over something. Like with Ty, we'd say, I'd go to him and say, what would you do here? What are you thinking of doing here? What can I do to stop that? And you just gotta kind of pick everyone's brains a little bit, and that's open. Like our evenings here aren't full. They're not busy. We're playing table tennis and darts most of the evenings, so the opportunity to grab a lad and sit at a computer or go through a notebook with someone is there, and I think that's the reason why we have that time off in the evening, is to be able to just pick each other up on stuff, get our detail on, and then go back and chill out.
Ian Jones is obviously a massive leader for Wales, but like, where does he rank in terms of second rows that you've come up against in your career, and how difficult it is to play against him?
Obviously he's got so much experience at so many different levels. I think he's definitely right up there with one of those guys you have to be aware of. He can be extremely destructive on both sides of the ball when you're playing against him. I think there were times at the weekend there when Italy did a good job on him. However, we can't just assume that everyone's going to do that and brush him under the rug. We kind of have to make sure that we're on top of our game defensively and in attack, to make sure that him and other threats around their pack and backline are nullified. Because if the moment you kind of assume someone's looked after and they're not going to cause you much hassle, that's when you're going to get trouble thrown at you.
Stephen just asked Cian about it there. I was going to ask you about that defeat last year to Wales in Cardiff. Like, for you, everybody reacts differently to defeat. Is that something you draw motivation from for this weekend?
I wasn't playing on it.
Why not?
Probably a similar answer to Cian though. If I was playing on it, looking back to kind of things like that, people react to games differently. People remember games differently. We've played them twice since then. Like there's lots happened in between that space. I know it's under a year ago, but feels about 5 years ago really.
Because of everything that's happened in between.
It's been so busy in between, and there's been obviously being a World Cup season, everything's crammed in with the club and with country as well. So it's been busy enough.
And just on you, you're obviously part of the leadership group now. What's that like for you, and to bring more of your leadership role to the setup?
It's good. It's there's a different mentality around the place. There's a different mentality in meetings. As Church touched on it there, there's a different relationship between players and coaches. There's a different relationship between players and players going over stuff together, and everything that's done is done in a real positive manner to ensure that we're getting the best out of each other, to ensure that if I go to Cian and ask him for help, or he comes to me and asks me for help, we're doing it to make each other better and ultimately to get a better result at the weekend, and everyone knows that. And maybe in years gone by, guys might have been a wee bit tentative of who they went and asked questions to, or who they're trying to get clarity to, for fear of people thinking they don't know their detail, they don't know stuff. But now there's a very open learning system, I would say, has been put in place to ensure that guys are free to get information whenever they want.
Okay, last one, guys. How much did you enjoy making that pass for try? Is that an area as well that maybe Irish sports can show a bit more?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got a lot of good ball players in the squad. Everyone is more than capable. There are harder passes that we leave Tig and all them too, but no, that's a nice little one to be a part of. But you know, it's just about playing the game. We don't want to be the heavies that aren't good enough on the ball to be a part of something that's constructive for the team. So, you know, Lotties are down for our preparation before the pitch. Everyone's getting their hands on balls. Everyone's doing different skills. It's definitely a drive that everyone is fully comfortable that they can play whatever ball it is. If Johnny drops out, you want anyone to be able to step in and get a ball to 12 or 13. It's got to be pretty fluid with where you're able to go with the simple of catch pass.